Here we are, we're back. Figured I'd do a video on this. This is my old skate ramp that I've had God, since mid 2000s. It's basically the death of a ramp. Hopefully the rebirth. If any of this stuff is salvageable, we'll get into that and what I can keep and what I want to get rid of. So let's go ahead and look at this ramp. Alright, and what we got here, take a look here. Let me step down. This is a 4-foot half pipe, true 4 foot. Now a lot of people, when you measure, they never include that the fact that the flat bottom never reaches the bottom. So when I say 4 foot from that top deck all the way down to the flat bottom, not the bottom where it sits on something, that's not the true height of the ramp. A lot of people like to take that measurement from down here at the bottom where it's sitting on block or something and say, okay, from that point up to the top deck is 4'6". Well, it's not. It's still only a 4 foot ramp because the flat bottom never touches the point of your original measurement. So anyway, we got a 4 foot, true 4 foot half pipe, 7 foot transitions. Okay. Schedule 40 steel coping. This half pipe's 16 feet across on the half pipe. 16 feet of half pipe at 4 foot high. As you see, I've already started to destroy a few pieces before I started this video. Okay, now that steps down to 3.5 foot. Everything's true measurements. From the top deck to the bottom deck that I'm standing is a true 3.5 foot from that to where I'm standing. Got a nice flat wall here. I believe that's somewhere in the 22 degree angle, I believe. Now, something I do that some people, I find is a mistake, is that you want to start with a transition first. That way it slopes and it just does that the 22 angle doesn't hit the flat bottom without a slope in. You got to slope it in, find your angle. Once you reach the angle that you want to get, then you maintain that as the flat wall. So it gives you a nice smooth roll in at the bottom. It doesn't go clunk. Alright. As you can see, that takes it into a nice little bowl pocket, starting at 3 foot. So now we've gone from 3.5 foot down to 3 foot. 3 foot bowl pocket. And that works its way all the way down to a 2.5 foot mini ramp that then ties into the other side of the half pipe. As you can see, this thing is in bad shape. Probably about 5 years ago I gotten sick, so I couldn't maintain the ramp anymore, and that's why it's in such disrepair. No. Equally what's important is the fact that you have good flat bottom or good top decks. Nothing less than a 4 foot top decks, because you want to be able to ride this whole thing. A lot of people overlook the top decks. You lose a lot of tricks that could be done by not having a big enough top deck. Okay, here we got a three-sided pyramid. Three-sided pyramid. This is all covered in ramp armor, which I think actually is better than skate light. And you can see, as bad as this stuff's been sitting around, the ramp armor is actually still good shape. Alright, it comes up to your top deck here. Alright, I'm tearing that all out. Now the plan is, I'm going to rip all this half bowl section out. The half pipe was built before the bowl pocket and these little mini ramp and the flat wall. And I think it's actually survived better because I coated it many times with oil-based paints and stuff, and whereas when I built this other section I didn't do that. I was trying to get it done. And so I think the newer section, which is basically anything outside this half pipe, was built in 2007 and skated this clear up till, I don't know, probably 5 years ago or so. Yeah, no, because I think I was about 54 now. Last time I rode this I was about 50 years old, and I was able to still ride it, and but I haven't rode it since. But that's it. I'm gonna do a tear down, and I'll just do little videos of me trying to pull it apart and redo it. I think my plan is to drop this down from a 4-footer. I may drop it down to a 2.5, the size of this mini ramp here. Maybe knock it down to a 2.5, and or I may go as high as 3. There's a 3 over here, because this that was actually hard to build right there. That was a compound, and it didn't work out. I tried to bend it, so you got something that's compounding. It's bending around and bending up, and I ended up having to cut it into sections and have a guy weld it in for me. And it's actually rather smoother than you would think. It looks a little like it might be a little clunky, but it's actually quite smooth. And probably one of my most favorite things to do was to drop in on this side. I'll drop down here, come across, hit this wall here, and head straight for this here. Because it's jagged up like that, you can bonk off that cope and get yourself a big old air coming out of there, indie grab, and land into this flat bottom. Was really fun. Probably one of my most favorite things to do on this ramp. But anyway, we'll conclude this video, and next time I upload another one, it'll be part of the tear down and seeing what we can do to salvage some of this ramp and get rid of the stuff that's just too far gone to do any repairs with. All right, till next time, later.